Good evening, Facebook land. Josh from Operational Speed Supply.
Audrey.
And our special guest tonight, we've got AJ and Rebecca Jackson from the Follow-On Mission.
Hey, guys.
How are you?
Thanks so much for having us.
What's going on? It's awesome to have you guys here. We see if some of our followers haven't been paying attention, whatnot. We see you guys are in the shop, all set up. Look at that.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's been a work in progress, but it's getting there. We're so excited to kick off 2023.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. We're kind of in the same boat. We just got our shop kind of finished and work in progress, as they say, and moving right along. So let's get right to it. We came to talk about you guys, and so I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Audrey. She's going to be taking the lead on this one tonight. So we got an awesome show in store for you, those of you in Facebook land, and we would love for you guys to get to know who the Follow-On Mission is, and AJ and Rebecca here.
So the show is supposed to be awesome. So no pressure, guys.
No pressure.
Setting the standard for us.
I've got my scotch. We're good.
So the follow-on we wanted to have on SITREP tonight, me particularly, the follow-on has a very special place in my heart for someone that works with trauma recovery on a daily basis. The follow-on is an organization that reaches out to those that have had contact with trauma, and they work towards an overall mission of trauma recovery. I'm not going to get into the details myself. I would like to open up the floor to both AJ and Rebecca to just give us some information, give us some insight on where this started. Tell us about your project.
Well, see how long my voice holds up tonight.
Yeah. Hey, just to give you guys a little heads up, AJ's got some vocal cord issues. During his neck surgery, they paralyzed the right side of his vocal cord. So his voice comes and goes. So I'll try to fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're saying American Idol is not in your cards?
No, it's not happening anytime soon. Follow-On Mission started, back it up a little bit. I've been an athlete since I was 5 years old. I didn't have to win, but I had to compete just about every day. Of course, being special operations, being on a team, everything you do is a competition. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're making PowerPoint, you're going to make a better PowerPoint. If it's a run, it's a ruck march, you're lifting weights. Doesn't matter. It's a competition, and this played very well into how I'd grown up and my desires, my needs. After my operational time was over in special operations, I returned to racing motorcycles. And as the work-related injuries began to show themselves, the motorcycles quickly got reduced down to racing bicycles. And surgery after surgery, and finally, orthopedic guy told me, he's like, "Hey, you're done racing bicycles." And at his behest and the coaching of my behavioral health providers, I need to find another outlet quickly. I just couldn't find anything. My old hobbies, build model airplanes and things like that, they're relaxing. I enjoyed it, but that element of competition was missing. I had started down the spiral that ends in suicide for so many people that have seen trauma, suffering from post-traumatic stress, the associated anxiety and depression, not to get real preachy, but in answer to a prayer, I stumbled across endurance road racing. Got in touch with a guy named Nick Pons from the 24-Hour Lemon series, and he put me in touch with Brian Check, who runs another organization, USMC Racing. And Brian got me in a car, and the transformation in my life was just immediate. And I'll let her talk about what happened, that first time, that first day sitting in that race car.
Yeah, so we don't expect everybody's reaction to endurance racing to be exactly the same, but it really was a transformation from Friday when we got there, and we just did some track time getting used to the car. He was in the car on Saturday and the car on Sunday, and just to see that transformation of, he had some nervous anxiety going into it, like with any other competition, but by the end of Sunday, I kind of had my husband back. Trying not to be choked up here. It's really hard to watch somebody that's super driven and motivated and loves competition, to lose that. And when they get that glimpse of that back and that spark back in their eye, that just makes all the difference.
Yeah, it's not, for me, it was I'm competing again, and as well as getting to experience adrenaline, enjoy that rush without getting shot at.
Yeah.
Just an absolutely amazing experience. The transformation in me, it was very self-evident to me, very self-evident to Rebecca. But having experienced this, it's, we decided, hey, this is something we want to be involved in.
And it's something that we wanted to take to other people.
Yeah.
He had that drive. He's like, hey, if this made a difference to me, I couldn't do, because we really did. We did motorcycles. We ran half marathons together. We did bicycle. We did all kinds of stuff. And most of that got eliminated. So trying to find that thing that we could do together as a team again was key. The great thing about being married to your best friend is you like doing stuff together. So we had to find that thing that we could do together again. And he wanted to share that with other veterans. But I also had that drive to share it with families and let them know that you have that hope. Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh,
I knew this was going to happen.
So really, it gave you hope to not only reconnect with yourself, AJ, but to reconnect in your relationship as well.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I was just, I was an absolute train wreck. But being able to, to get out there with the car, emotionally, mentally, it helps to stabilize me, but it also puts me and Rebecca back together in an activity we love to do. She's an old gearhead. She actually had a trial marriage, or I guess she had a trial marriage
nice way of saying
prior
that,
to me, before me. She drag raced a big block GS Buick and Grand National as well. And during my break in service, racing motorcycles on Sunday, I mean, she was out there just slaying in the ladies' class as well. So.
But anyway, the whole thing with the follow-on mission, we want to reach out and try to help others and give them that sense of, hey, just because you can't do things that you used to like to do and love to do, doesn't mean that you can't find something else to do. And more than anything, having that mission to really help somebody else. We do have it tagged, as being, adrenaline therapy, but I want to be real upfront that, obviously this isn't any psychotherapy or clinical trial or anything like that. We're merely trying to give people that spark and that hope, just to have something that can excite them again and drive them to get that help that they need. Have that be that spark to say, hey, there is I see that light at the end of the tunnel and I want to follow that and I want to see what else is out there. So what do I need to do to get my mind right and my body right so that I can do these things? And that's really where our passion is.
And we decided to start this organization, go out on our own, start this and build this organization, something we can eventually want to franchise out and have more follow-on mission chapters. But with the starting this up, Josh, we can't underplay the value of you and Audrey doing it.
For sure.
For everybody out there listening, we had just family members. Got another Green Beret serves as our president of the board. But yeah, Josh came on as Josh and Audrey both volunteered a year of their lives to help us get this started. Josh with Director of Industry Outreach and Audrey as our Health and Wellness Director. Josh not only introduced us to people, but coached us through how to talk to industry people, how to introduce yourself, and realize that the guys in the industry, they have people coming up want stuff from them 24/7. But you have to remember, these are people that are just out there trying to make a living doing something they enjoy, and they just want to pay the bills at the end of the day. So it's a give and take, and you really have to offer these people something. Before you go asking for, hey, I want to give me a deal on this. Don't you know who I am? And Audrey coached us through the aspects of the effect, coaching us through how to apply, that's what we call adrenaline therapy through recovery of post-traumatic stress. And you guys just want to reach out and, just thank you guys both. You were instrumental in getting this thing off the ground.
Well, definitely. We're happy to have been able to be part of getting you guys moving forward.
Yeah, and it's definitely been a process. And it's been good, because as much as the initial endurance racing helped him, this last 2 years of building the follow-on mission and reaching out to other people has made a tremendous impact in him, and the way that even that his mind processes things. With traumatic brain injuries, the brain just doesn't process things quite the same. And there's just a relearning process. And he's done amazingly well with this. And it's just slow and steady. We're just trying to get there.
Yeah. But really, through the process, you really found your purpose. And this purpose will continue to help other people that have been in a similar situation. AJ, you brought up something that I think is really important to highlight on. You were at a complete low in your life when you found endurance racing, and you had brought up like the suicidal ideation. I think that's a very important thing to hone in on just for a brief moment, because there are so many people out there that struggle with that exact thing, but they're scared to talk about it. They're scared to be open with the fact that their thoughts aren't right. And if they tell anybody else, they're probably going to be locked up or something, when really it's not like that at all. It's outreach, and it's being able to listen. And like exactly what you said, in a prayer, you found your answer. You had a listening mind, and that listening mind is now guiding you to help people all over this country, and hopefully to expand all over the world at some point.
Yeah, that's a great point, Audrey. I was served in the military. DoD credits me with about 33 years total service. And up until the last few years, if you reached out and asked for help, that was just basically raising your hand and saying, I can't do my job, please put me on staff. And for the leadership honestly did a terrible, terrible job in the organization I was in with behavioral health. If you need help and you're in the service, raise your hand. You will be amazed at who all in the military is seeking help and getting it now. Suicidal ideations, remember, that's a permanent solution to a very temporary problem. And it may not seem like a temporary problem. Something you have to remember is living under months or combined years of stress, going through these traumas, battle after battle. You have to remember that chemically, your mind is probably changed and rewired a little bit. Medications and therapy, what they do is you're not drugged up. You're correcting a chemical problem. That therapist is helping you get that wiring back the way it's supposed to be. Reach out, get some help. And then once you're on the right track, find something like, if you're needing an outlet like this, find an outlet. There's more than just us out here. All kinds of programs, all kinds of things going on. But just please raise your hand and ask for that help. It's available, but you got to take that step and realize first in your mind, hey, I need it. And once you take that first step, the rest is, the road to recovery is not easy, but taking that first step gets it going, and progress is going to start immediately.
Yeah, I'm going to chime in real quick too. As soon as we start posting things up on the follow-on mission about PTSD and the depression and things that happen, it's amazing the people that'll come out and start talking about it. They don't want to be the first one to talk about it. If you start talking about it, they're willing to jump in. And I think that that's really important. But like AJ said, maybe endurance racing is not your thing. The one thing I do want to say about the reason that we picked kind of the Champ Car series and the 24-hour of Lemons is that 2 days of actual racing, 1 day of track time prep, and then 2 days of racing. It's that second day where I'm really seeing kind of the mental, just the transformation that somebody makes. They go from being a little bit nervous on Saturday, because it's usually a 7 or 8 hour race on Saturday and the same thing on Sunday. And by that second day, after they do their first stint, which is usually 90 minutes or 2 hours, they get out of the car with a grin on their face that I just can't even describe. And that's a reward right there. The last race that we did we raced at Ozark last April, and he was a combat veteran, but he's also a sniper on a SWAT team here locally. And his wife and daughter were both there. And when he got out of that car and he took his helmet off and had that grin, and I think I sent you guys one of the pictures. I don't know if you guys have the pictures handy, but the smile on JT's face, his wife and daughter were both in tears. And that's what works for me. They're just like, we haven't seen him smile like that in years.
Yeah, and that's the $1 million moment right there when somebody gets that reaction. That's why we do this.
Yeah.
And we know that doesn't fix them, but it gives them that spark and that hope that, hey, there are good things out there. And the other thing I think about being in the car for such a long period of time is it's that AJ mentioned it earlier, but it's a little bit of that changing your perspective of adrenaline, because if adrenaline's been associated so long with fear and anxiety and anger, to be able to say, hey, this adrenaline, I'm not fearful. I might have a fun anxiety, but not a bad anxiety. I'm not angry. I can enjoy this and have fun, and it lets them reacclimate to that adrenaline.
And I think there's something to be said for the fact that you're allowing adrenaline to run its course as well. So take AJ's background, for example. He was used to being in intense situations, and then when it all comes to a head and it stops, his body isn't working the way he is used to it working. His mind and his body's not working the way he's used to it. So then having this outlet with the adrenaline racing, you're allowing it to run its course. So it's not just staying pent up.
Yeah, I think you nailed it there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
For the this is going back towards the guys and girls operated in small units in the military. Once you interact with the Champ Car and what we call the Citrus Racer Lounge, Citrus being the old cheap car, Lemon's car. Once you start interacting with these people, you're going to find that these two organizations are full of the most loving, caring, hateful, smack talking people you would ever find. It's just like being in the team room or in the squad cage again.
Perfect fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's amazing the similarities between team life in the military and just interacting with this group of people. It's an amazing crowd.
And I'm sure you find the same thing with autocross. You just find like-minded people, and you're just hanging out and having a good time. And it's just, and it feels that not only is it the adrenaline portion, but that teamwork and camaraderie. A lot of times when you separate from the military, then all of a sudden, your team guys, you're still talking to them and stuff, but it's not the same as being together.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny you bring that up, the smack talk and everything. Last year, we went to Pennsylvania up to UMI Motorsports Park for an event, and we've got our OG racing team, and there was, I think, 6 of us up there for this event, and we all made an internal bet. First person to spin out's wearing a dress. Well, as the leader of this awesome group of people, I happened to be the first person to spin out.
Nice.
No.
And I lost that bet.
All pictures.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's pictures floating around somewhere, and if any of our OGs are watching, I'm sure they'll post the dang thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun, a lot of smack talk, and the running joke for some of us is, well, you're good at cutting the grass because you're always in the grass, and for others, you're good at cutting the cones because you're always hitting them.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of UMI, I don't know if Ramey's on or not, but UMI Motorsports. Again, this is Josh. You got me hooked up with these guys.
Mhm.
I need to send them a monthly check just based on the amount of stupid questions Ramey has to answer for me through the week. Ramey, thank you. You're one of the greatest people I've met in the motorsports industry, and honestly, this car we're putting together, it could not have happened without you. It's been a great journey building this thing and getting to meet you. So thanks, Ramey.
You guys need to make it up with us when we go to UMI again, and we'll do an official, in-person introduction with Ramey and Ryan and the whole crew.
Oh yeah, got to be. Ramey. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I got Ramey a very special Christmas card. I only gave out 2 this year, but Ramey got 1. It was a kind of a cute little gift, something we can all use. A little quarter-inch drive snap-on ratchet. Those little shirt pocket deals. So.
Perfect.
Yeah, only had 2 to give out, and one went to Ramey. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and our focus with the follow-on mission, is helping combat veterans and first responders with PTSD and depression. That's kind of, who we're honed in on. But it's really cool how many civilians we've seen step up. I mean, we've had some amazing family that has stepped up. Every one of I've got 3 sisters and a brother, and every one of them and their spouses have stepped up in some way, shape, manner, or form. But we've had some people off of social media. We found somebody that's here local. Her name's Karen, and she's going to start helping us. She's got some connections with, the Green Brave Foundation and some other people. We mentioned Scott. He's our president, Scott Kinder with DOL Coach. Again, just these invaluable resources of wealth of knowledge from all different industries coming in to help us do this thing. We're extremely blessed.
Yeah.
And very grateful for everybody's help.
And hey, just a little bit on networking. I want everybody to remember that where you're standing right now and who you are right now, that is a culmination of everything that's happened in your past and every decision you've made up until that point. And I can't overstate the amount of just saying hello to people as you go through your day. You never know what that hello will do. That might have been something that just keeps that person going on, that afternoon. You have no idea how much that you're helping somebody just by reaching out, speaking to them, and then reciprocal, you have no idea when that may come back to you. So met Josh off a random Facebook group. Scott Kinder was a friend of mine back in 2003. He went to a Special Forces qualification course. He was just a guy that needed a ride home one afternoon. But just in your networking, in your personal networking, don't say hello to somebody with the mindset that, hey, what can they do for me? Say hello thinking this person might need that today. So that's my sermon for today.
Yeah. Kindness. I mean, seriously though, kindness just goes a really long way.
Yeah, attitude of gratitude. It's going to carry you through motorsports, your business career, your military career, whatever you're doing. Attitude of gratitude is going to carry you through.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a gratitude practice is very important, and it's underestimated for sure, especially in military communities. Because, when Josh and I first started dating, I was telling him about this wonderful practice of gratitude. And I just saw his eye twitch. Like, you want me to think something?
Yeah. Go ahead and leave that one alone.
And then I introduced him to yoga, and then his whole world changed.
I tried to play Disturbed for her, and she wasn't down with listening to Disturbed. So
she's not down with the sickness. So.
No. I'm not down with the sickness.
Not at all.
Hey, we have time to talk about BTR for a minute.
Most definitely.
Okay.
We've got as much time as we need.
All right. BTR, of course, being new to the LS world, it was comp camps. Didn't really know about BTR. Brett Stewart, another Green Beret, this is called Prey Porting now. Brett Stewart was publicly thanking Brian himself, just on some coaching and mentoring he had done for Brett. And Brett has a very, very successful porting, modification, installation business. He's 6-gen Camaros are kind of where he's at right now. But anything, if it's a GM product with aluminum head, he's one of the guys you want to talk to. But he was really selling BTR, particularly Brian's efforts. And needing a cam, Brett had given me some specs for custom grind, and just didn't have time for a custom grind. So I called BTR, and I get a hold of this guy. Cody Yates.
Cody Yates, he's a great dude.
Yeah. So he happened to be the guy.
Too.
Yeah, he happened to be the guy that got the stupid question that day from me. But anyway, tell Cody exactly weight of the car, rear end, 4-speed transmission, what we're going to be doing with it. Just give him the whole specs. He's like, "What are you looking at?" And I tell him the cam. He's like, "No, that's the wrong cam." Yeah. So spec me out a cam, and I'm like, and I'm just like, "Hey, Cody, new to this whole LS thing, but let's go ahead, springs, retainers, push rods, everything I need to make this thing live." He put me a package together, and he doesn't know me from anybody, but Cody spent an hour on the phone with me, talked me through everything, got the order processed, and it was 36 hours later.
It was sitting on the
It was sitting on the front porch.
Yeah.
So I just, Brian Tooley Racing, Cody Yates, awesome folks.
You know, it's awesome to see these guys grow the way they have too. I met Cody, and he's our sales rep as well. We got set up with them at PRI. But years ago, this is 2013. I was picking up a cam for a buddy of mine. We were getting ready to do a cam swap in his car. He was putting a 6.2 out of a truck into his car. And I did a will call pickup at Brian Tooley Racing. And back in 2013, their building was, if it was 1,200 square feet, I'd be impressed. It was tiny. I walk in there to do a will call, and this really unassuming gentleman walks up to me and says, "Hey, what are you here for?" I'm like, "I'm here to pick up a cam and a cam and lifter set." Get to talking to the guy, and after about 30 minutes of discussion, I finally realized it was Brian Tooley. And I talked to him for an hour and a half, and I got more education on valve train technology and just general theory in that hour with him than I've ever dreamed of getting on forums and reading and anything else. But not only that, but he's just a very nice person. And that company is reflective of that. Cody is an example of exactly that. He's a super, super nice guy, and he's willing to help. And, same thing with you. I was on the phone with him for, an hour at a time trying to get everything squared up for us. So it was awesome.
Yeah, God's put some really wonderful people in our path, and I feel bad because I'm sure we're leaving out people that we should be thanking.
Yeah.
But, even like we were talking about the civilians helping.
Yeah.
Good friends, Danny and Kelly Crawford. They're here local in Jeff City. They've got the auto shop, and with as busy as they are, they were like you guys. They were willing to put in 2 years of their time helping us get this thing up and running. And Danny takes phone calls from us when we got questions, and Kelly is really good at the marketing kind of stuff, so she helped us in that direction.
Yeah. That they also gave us a personal garage space for 12 months. I think I spent 270 days of convalescent leave after surgery in their garage. They let us use their storage. Stored the car in there, worked on the car in there, and I slept on the floor with the dog. It was just great people. Helped us get this thing going, and can't thank them enough. It was just, they're still some of our best friends in the world. I miss seeing them every day. Of course, I'm sure they're probably glad to have me out of their shop.
I think they were really glad we got our own shop.
But, just giving up your one car shop for a year, just to get something like this going, that's above and beyond the call.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of move us into it. So, talking about all these people that are, part of this. Well, beforehand, you sent us a bunch of pictures, and I've got them all kind of prepped to start showing everyone else kind of what you guys have been working on. So let me go ahead and screen share this, and we'll kind of go through this. I'll let you guys talk them. Tell me next slide. I'll be the little button clicker.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just me and Rebecca.
There we go. There.
Hey, there's the logo.
Yeah.
Thought that was kind of important just to show you.
Yeah, so
you can kind of see this too. It's got the race car driver lifting the hand of the service member.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, I got to brag on my sister and brother-in-law. So my sister Kendall, who also lives in Tennessee, on the opposite side though, her husband Scott Rimmel designed this, and he designed every bit and piece by hand. He pieced it all together. But what was amazing is I told him the vision of what we were trying to do. I'm like, we're trying to transition from being these soldiers into getting onto this race car team and showing that without saying helping hand, he totally got it. And I love our logo. He did an amazing job.
So it definitely turned out great. It did. It's perfect. AJ.
Oh yeah,
that was AJ's last Halo jump.
Yeah, that was chest straps undone. Sorry about that, Jump Masters. I fixed it before I went out the door.
I hope so.
Military free fall was one of the greatest experiences of my life. Certainly the best in the military, and even if it's just a low altitude 13,000 foot training jump, you got 56 seconds there where the Army can't do anything to you. It doesn't matter if your online training's up to date, or if you're Cat 3 dental. The Army can't do anything about it once you go out that door. And I found that that less than a minute in free fall, I found that very enjoyable and did it as much as I could. And a lot of that's what's wrong with me now is, orthopedically wise, had some good landings, had some bad ones. So
Some rough landings.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I actually was at that jump. It was his last jump. He just had a really hard opening and snapped his neck and just did the neck in.
yeah, it was the new parachute packed. The opening wasn't what I was expecting, and but hey, that exposed a pretty serious injury in my neck. Got it fixed. It ended my jumping, but that hard opening exposed something that definitely needed to be addressed in my neck. So
for sure. All right,
Oh.
That's a driver change and fueling at the Ozark race.
yeah, so
You can definitely tell that car had some miles on track.
yeah,
The first day it rained, the weather was but it ended up being beautiful after actual race time.
Yeah.
But the cars were filthy.
Yeah, Friday practice and even Saturday morning still had mud running across the track in spaces.
Yeah.
The track crew did a really good job managing everything they could as far as the swale and the water flow. Drivers of Champ Car did an amazing job. Had a couple runoffs. One car backed it in pretty hard. Had one car, I don't know what it looked like, a mechanical failure, maybe a broken tire out or something, ran off the track. But everybody just did a great job on a new track, lots of off camber, and pretty bad weather, for a brand new track. You got green asphalt. There's no rubber laid in yet, but it was a great experience all the way around.
Yeah, and like I said, couldn't say enough about the track, the personnel there. But also, while we're thinking about this, that car is not ours. That is a BMW. The friends of friends, they found out that our car was not going to be ready for this race. They wanted to make sure that our combat veterans were able to get into the car that weekend. They donated that car to us that weekend to use it. So that was Doug and Pam Hill and their son Steven. And that's actually Steven on the left standing there. He was getting ready to get into the car, I believe.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's JT. You'll see a picture of him later. He's our combat veteran SWAT team member, and he thoroughly enjoyed being on comms when he was not driving. And I just thought that was a good picture of him. That's actually AJ and me. I'm getting him. Am I getting you suited up to go in? I can't really tell.
We might.
Looks like you're cleaning his face shield.
Could be. Or then again, we just kind of like to get dressed up like that sometimes and hang around too. So
I thought you were going to be hopping in that smart car in the background.
Yeah, probably the same race. We might just be getting dressed up to go somewhere.
Fuel stop, just an action picture, and I'm not even sure who that is fueling there.
Yeah,
it might be Steven.
Yeah.
That's my brother John. My sister-in-law Alicia is on the board, and that's her husband, my brother. He came in and he is so calm on the radio. He ended up doing the radio when JT wasn't doing the radio. John was on the radio.
Yeah, engineer turned MBA. Real successful guy. Really good pit boss. Good on the comms, great on organization. And he hooked us up with a place to stay that weekend too.
Yeah, that's even better. Didn't have to sleep in the trailer. Yeah. And that's a picture of him too. I just love the picture. It's got his shirt. You can see the follow-on mission. In disguise, but that is Kelly Crawford, and then my sister-in-law Alicia, who's on the board. They were getting ready to suit up for. They were on fire duty for the fueling stop. So. The BMW's on the far right there, coming around the corner.
Yeah, coming into that's coming into final turn. Speed's right there. They're getting radar coming over the hill, top of the hill, back behind there. Most cars are running mid-70s. That BMW, we were hitting the rev limiter in fourth gear, just about 100 yards past that, going into one. So it was quite an experience. That next half mile of track, all off camera and to the left.
Not really sure what's happening there. John's telling people to calm down or something. And then then in the orange there, that's my sister from Iowa. They drove 500 miles round trip to come to this race, and her husband's a photographer and took all these great pictures.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good picture in car right there.
Yeah.
Yep, hooking up comms right there.
Yep.
It's driver change. It's not just hopping in the car.
Yeah.
There's water systems, cooling systems, communication systems to be hooked up.
Harnesses.
Yeah, and then you might want to be belted into.
It's kind of important.
Yeah, belts. I don't know, optional, right?
So on the left is Stephen, who donated, with the car along with his parents, and then JT. That's one of his grins getting out of the car. Or I don't know. He might have been getting in there. I'm not sure.
I think he's
in or out.
Yeah. Happy moment right there.
That was him getting out. And then on the left is his wife and daughter who were there. Yeah.
Okay. Good action shots here.
Yeah, just more action shots. There's the whole crew. That was everybody there was only 4 drivers the weekend. And so the rest was just all people there volunteering, pit crewing.
Yeah.
Kelly brought in food for 3 days for everybody. It was great.
Yeah. One car, we had 14 people there. About 17 at one point, but one car, 14 people. It was, we get noticed in the pits when you bring 14 people per car in. I was talking to Champ Car. Average attendance runs about 7 folks per car. But we're pretty good neighbors in the pits. Made a lot of friends.
Good.
Flying Ghost Racing. Flying Ghost, if you're out there, best coffee in the world, guys. Thank you.
They sure do that.
I actually wound up sleeping. I slept the first night in the pits under our pit table, and those guys kept me fed and caffeinated. So thanks to Flying Ghost Racing.
Yeah. JT and his wife and daughter. There was at the end after the race. And then there's the Hills.
Yeah,
Doug and Stephen Hill. Doug, Stephen, and Pam. Yeah.
Car owners, Doug and Stephen started this. Stephen was in college. He was involved with Formula SAE. Then this grew into started hearing about the Spec BMW series. And that car is actually built as a Spec E30, or if Bill Strong is listening, a Pinky 30. Anyway, we had some penalty laps. It had the spec package has some heim joints and some trickery going on with rear suspension that we had left on the car. We just have to put some penalty laps, but it wasn't about winning. We did finish extremely well first time out with this car. It was a Spec E30 and it did just great. My choice, we would have gone with a wider tire, but we left the spec wheel size on there so it can go from Champ Car. Put the stickier spec tires on it without changing the wheels, and it's off to another series. And Bill family, again, thank you. It was a great experience, and we couldn't have done it without you guys. And
I love that shot. Yeah. It's just that's the end of the race. We packed up. We were walking back to the pits. My brother-in-law with the photographer did a great job, and that happens to be my brother, and then his wife, my sister, walking out. And then the rest of us were all in front. Another picture of John.
Yeah, John, pit boss.
There's a good picture of Kelly and Deb Thomas. So. And then I know those two people. The
Look at that.
That's a good guys race.
Yeah, that was Good Guys Nashville. That was the first event for the follow-on that we were able to put together, and then we were passing out rides in the old M86Z.
Yeah. Awesome. I was fortunate enough to get one of those and see just exactly what level of lunatic you are, Josh.
I'll tell you this: we have now updated it. The car's got a roll cage. It's got way better seats and 5-point harnesses.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and there was our first rider. That was
our
first rider at that race. Yep. Oh yeah.
Working.
Get a little work on Athena.
Yeah, there's Rebecca putting the UMI springs in. We had just installed a Curry Enterprises Ford 9-inch in it, and Rebecca's bolting up the sweet hardware from UMI.
And I will say, sometimes he plays the Wounded Warrior card, and I get to climb under the car.
I don't bend so well, so yeah.
Good picture there.
Yeah, this was
always look cool, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, we just taken the car over to the engineer. Car has it's a mid-engine now. It's a 15-inch setback and 2-inch drop. You're going from the Gen 1 small block to the LS motor, and this required a brand new interior to be fabricated. 15-inch firewall being moved back 15 inches.
Mhm.
A lot of CAD camp time.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna say thanks to Barry Crawford. I'm not gonna say
Don't
his
say shop.
business name because he swore us to secrecy on that because he's like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah, he doesn't
But-
wear his cars.
No,
Yeah.
but he did it for us,
Yeah.
and he's got 3 boys that work in that shop, and I'm telling you, it's their 11-year-old that was on the CAD cam, smart as a whip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, talking things through. So that first day, kind of getting a game plan there. I don't know if we've got any pictures, but it was set up on jigs, lasers and levels. Um, uh, and amazing! Josh with Legion Metal and Speed did the cage on there.
Yeah.
He did an amazing job
Mhm.
of squaring this car up.
Yeah, he's local to us here in Clarksville.
Yeah, so Legion Metal and Speed, really got a shout out to that guy.
Yeah, because Barry was impressed with his work, and it's hard to impress Barry.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
But we were getting a level, and just got the lasers on there, and he was just absolutely amazed at how square that thing was.
Yeah, Josh is a former Special Forces guy as well, former 18 Bravo.
Yeah, he's still a guard guy, I believe, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Here we go. A little bit of progress.
That's back to the BMW.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's just showing off the
stickers.
Yeah, the spec. Looking at the spec E30 parts with the with the strut tower brace. It was a amazing car.
Stickers.
Beautiful car.
Yeah. Actually running it with the I didn't know there was a such thing, but there was an economy E30 which had a different ECU and tune, and they rebuilt the engine themselves, completely stock. But even with that economy ECU and tune in it, horsepower wise, it ran with their VE30 out there. So
wow.
Props to Doug and Steven on that engine build.
Yeah.
So.
All right, and then I think we got one more from here. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
I just pulled that off my Facebook page. That was back from Memorial Day,
Yeah.
Veterans Day. So yeah, I love my veterans.
And then one more I want to show everyone. There we go. There's AJ.
Oh
Yeah.
This was the end of my competition days. This was Sydney, Australia. Sydney, Australia, gold medal, and I believe it was a bicycle time trial.
That was time trial,
Yeah. On the left, we've got a Air Force combat controller involved in a GMD that rolled a gun truck over on his arm, basically.
Wow.
And on the right, that's Doug Norman. He's still active duty at Bragg. Had some horrible blast injuries. He's had a full career too. He didn't miss any opportunities to go fast and take risks. So.
The last one here I want to show everybody is the QR code that takes you to the follow-on missions page.
Yeah.
Straight to the website.
Yeah.
Exactly. Straight to the website. All right. So.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh. That's a good.
Yeah.
Good trip down memory lane there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Most definitely.
Good
All right.
year.
So a couple things we'll get ready to kind of close out here. But Audrey and I have talked about this, and we've every year we run Clarksville Autocross, and Clarksville Autocross, for those that aren't that don't know, is an autocross event that we run about one per month from April till October, and we got a pretty solid group of people, and it's a blast. And not only that, but we're also going to be competing in a few other events. We're going to be up at UMI for a couple this year. We're running another Good Guys event, and then we're also going to be we're the primary sponsors for Camaro Fest, for the autocross at Camaro Fest this year. And they're all amazing events. And, our biggest thing that we've kind of felt that has been our push is building that community, that sense of community with wherever you go. And that was our goal with Clarksville Autocross. And, us working with UMI and sponsoring the track, and then working with Camaro Fest to sponsor the autocross there, is all part of trying to continue to build that car culture in that community. Well, with that, we have worked pretty hard last year to get some donations and things like that in that would help, a charity. Last year we worked with the Emily Whitehead Foundation, which works with the pediatric cancer. And it was very successful. And this year we have decided that we're going to run our raffles and everything at Clarksville Autocross. And through our raffles, any and all donations that we receive are going to go to the follow-on mission for everything that we do. So
Oh,
Michelle.
wow.
Yeah.
You're making me cry again.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
That's amazing. Yeah, thank you.
Anything that we can bring together this year is going to come entirely to you. And so at the end of our final event, when we hit October, we're going to come and whatever we've been able to work and receive through the donations and whatnot, we'll do that. And then in addition to that, we'll be making, shares of your guys' page directly. So if somebody wants to donate directly, they can. But our raffles have proven pretty successful. And I mean, people will come out and they'll get an armband full of tickets for $20 just for a hat. So, people are more than willing to give. And, Ramey once told me, he's like, if you've got the ability to show up and race, you've got the ability to give. And we take that, things like that to heart. So we definitely want to help continue to support you guys in any way we can and help give back to you guys. And it's something really special for us, given everything that we're doing in the motorsports industry. So
We believe in what you do.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Audrey.
That means more than you know.
Yeah.
All right. So one cool thing, a comment came up. So we got a couple people. Charles Mares, he Navy CB. Want to give him some recognition. He's getting into autocross. So Charles, reach out to the follow-on. Reach out to us. Let's get you racing, man. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one I want to bring up is Mike Lee. Mike Lee is one of the people that coordinates for Camaro Fest, and he wants us to do a raffle at Camaro Fest as well. So. Mike, we will get this thing set up and we will definitely do it. We'd be happy to.
Yeah. Mike, thank you.
Yeah.
And Charles, let's get you on the track.
Yep.
Yeah. Neat thing about autocross. Hardest thing about autocross is just going. You just
yeah.
Show up.
Show up.
You show up and you show up to one of Josh's. He's going to tell you what class and when to be on the line.
Yeah.
It's a simple deal.
And then send it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if you guys can make it out to ours this year, we're getting ready to release our schedule soon. We had a couple dates we had to work with, but please come out and you'll have a seat in the Camaro at minimum.
Okay. Yeah. We've got a little Ford Focus. It's just a tire change away. So figure we can run the.
It'll at least give you a good giggle.
Yeah.
We had a Subaru Outback that we autocrossed, and that was the most fun that I've ever had driving a car ever.
Was it all-wheel drive?
Oh yeah, all-wheel drive, and it was painted flat black and had a logo of Judas Priest on the.
Oh yeah, I know that car. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a blast. But anything that we can do for you guys this year, we definitely want to try to support. And again, we'll keep you guys informed on the raffles and how they're going. Please come out if you guys can make it. I know it's a haul for y'all to get out here, but we'd love to have you. And at that rate, we hope that you guys were able to share your story and that it helps promote what you guys are doing.
Yeah, can't thank you enough. This is awesome. It was fun just to catch up.
Yeah.
Definitely. And we got to make sure Scott watches this. I'm actually in his course right now, and I missed tonight's lesson to be here. So
yeah.
All right. Do you need me to write you a note? I'll write
yes,
you
please do.
We had mentioned this to Scott, but it's up to his professor's decision. It's his course. But yeah, we did mention to Scott that we had an engagement with you this evening.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, hey, there's Ramey. Ramey coming in to say hi.
Oh, Randy. Oh, I just said all kinds of wonderful things about you.
You have to watch the recording.
Yeah. Bottom line, Ramey is I think every week I need to write a check just based on the amount of stupid questions you have to answer for me. So, Ramey, thank you so much for your help. And you've been instrumental in helping us put this monster car together.
He's great. He's known as Uncle Ramey to the kids. Every time we're anywhere together, he's ended up getting one of our kids hanging on his arm. So
yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, it definitely is. But
yeah, the same way at PRI, he had kids hanging on his arm. So it was
you too.
I was one of them. Yeah.
Well, right on. Well, again, AJ, Rebecca, thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure talking to you guys again, and we're excited for 23, just like you guys are. Hopefully, we can make a big push to help push this thing and get Athena on the track.
Yeah,
and we'll see you sometime this year. We'll make it work.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
All right. Thanks again. God bless, guys.
All right. From OSS side of the house, I'm Josh,
Audrey,
AJ, Rebecca. Thank you guys again. Y'all have a great night. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Night.